This program provides education, not advice. Sponsors pay a fee for endorsements and interviews. See the truthayf.com disclosure page for details.
This is where technology, innovation, and personal finance come together.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman. Brought to you by Global X ETFs, dedicated to providing investors with unexplored intelligent solutions. And by Presidio, offering a digital vault where you can collect, protect, and share all your important people, places, things, and documents with all the key people in your life. Start for free at Presidio.com.
It's Thursday, August 10th. How long are you going to live? 41% of pre-retirees surveyed underestimate their life expectancy by 5 years or more. In other words, you're going to live longer than you probably think. A lot of reasons for this. One example, there's a new way they're trying to cure bacterial infections. It's called phage therapy. It's been almost 40 years since we had antibiotics. Some infections, gonorrhea, tuberculosis, they're becoming resistant to antibiotics, though. We had 1.2 million deaths in 2019, and these infections are implicated in 4 million more deaths. Bacteriophages are viruses. They infect the bacteria that's infecting us, a virus that kills a virus. Bacteria cells are different from human cells, so phages don't harm us, only the bacteria. These things have been around for more than 100 years, but the technology fell out of favor when penicillin was discovered back in 1928. None of these new techs is approved in the U.S. yet, but the FDA has approved early-stage clinical trials. If you think that's cool, that's going to help us live longer, well, consider this: longevity clinics. These are medical facilities that focus on keeping you alive. They do everything from preventing chronic disease to healing tennis elbow. The people most attracted to these clinics? People in their 40s to 60s who are starting to see signs of aging for the first time. You get a bunch of tests when you go to these clinics, early cancer screenings, MRIs, cognitive testing, so they can set a baseline. Some clinics have you use wearables so they can monitor your heart rate or sleep. These things can cost up to $100,000 a year, not covered by health insurance. And all those tests can lead to overdiagnosis, detecting, say, a benign tumor that's not really harmful. It leads to unnecessary procedures and cost. This is not a regulated market. Some treatments are unproven, like biological age testing, early cancer screenings, stem cell therapies, hair growth treatments. So instead of going to a longevity clinic, try this. Just exercise regularly. Regular exercise can reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. How much exercise? At least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise a week. In a study of 650,000 adults over a decade, they found that compared to those who do not exercise, those who exercise 1 hour a week added 2 years to their lives. Those who exercised 8 hours a week gained 4 years of life. Exercise improves the immune function, reduces inflammation, increases insulin sensitivity, also helps your memory and learning ability. The biggest benefit you'll get? Racket sports, running and walking. But Harvard's study of adult development, they followed families for decades. They found that the best predictor of longevity, health, and happiness in later life is the quality of your relationships. So exercise that as well as your body. My wife Jean's podcast, Self-Care with Jean Edelman, is now her own independent podcast, and her podcast premieres each week, every Thursday. Jean's really passionate about sharing her knowledge and insights with you on self-care, mindfulness, overall wellness. You can listen to Jean's podcast anytime you like, everywhere that you get your podcasts. Subscribe at selfcarewithjean.com. The link is in the show notes. I'm Rick Edelman. See you tomorrow.
Electric vehicles have burst on the scene, starting a global movement with many innovative companies competing for market share. The Global X Autonomous and Electric Vehicles ETF, ticker DRIV, invests in dozens of stocks worldwide that are driving forward EV adoption. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Technology companies can be affected by rapid product obsolescence and intense industry competition. Before investing, carefully consider the fund's objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in the full or summary prospectus at globalxetfs.com. Read carefully. Distributed by SEI Investments Distribution Company.
This message is brought to you by Charles Schwab. No matter what tomorrow brings, some things won't change, like Schwab's commitment to see the world through clients' eyes. That commitment is why Schwab is always here for clients with clear guidance and committed service to help maintain focus on achieving long-term goals. So whatever happens today, Schwab remains invested in you. Visit schwab.com to learn how Schwab is ready to help. That's schwab.com.
The information you need to plan for the tomorrow you want.
This is the truth about your future with Rick Edelman.